Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is, what is today? Is it today Wednesday? It's Wednesday. It's April 26, 2023. It doesn't feel like it, but we're almost in May. I feel like we've hit all the check boxes for spring, or at least the anticipation of spring here in the Midwest. We had a warm spell, and then a cold spell, and then a freak snow, and then like lingering chilliness. So I feel like, any day now I'm ready for spring. It doesn't feel like spring today. It was really cold this morning at the bus stop for the kids, but yeah, we're here though. We're surviving. Days are getting longer at least. And we're here. Time for another live stream. Everyone listening in on the audio only version. Hopefully you're having a good run. Maybe you're recovering from Boston. Maybe you're recovering from London. Either way, hopefully today was nice and easy and everything's starting to feel a lot better for me. I went for an hour today, which is my longest run back since Boston, and I'm feeling good. And for everyone that's listening and watching this on YouTube later, but not live, welcome to the #1 running podcast to listen to in the background while you're trying to figure out if you should maybe move your long run to Sunday. I think maybe you should, given the weather, I don't know. It's up to you, but yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be the same either way. But be kind to yourself. All right, let's see what we got in the chat. We've got... Frank says he got an email from the BAA today. Don't forget to submit your race photos and video here or share on social media for a chance to be featured. We'll be highlighting finishers throughout the coming weeks and months. Be sure to tag at Boston Marathon. Use the hashtag Boston127 and hashtag OneBoston as you post your accomplishments. And Frank says, yeah, I'm not falling for that. I did not fall for it either, Frank. I did not submit any race photos, and I find it like highly ludicrous that email went out. I don't know. I got that email. I feel like I got it like days ago, and I was like, oh, this is a trap. This is a trap. So in an update in that regard, I haven't gotten any contact from the BAA yet. I anticipate that's going to come. I have a feeling that will come much, much later on when things are quiet and no one cares. And then they can do their thing. Although it seems like I've never seen more content for the Boston Marathon before. And I just don't know how they put it's not like they let the genie out of the bottle. This is just a trend, a difference in the way that people run. And, I don't know. Hopefully everything is fine. Hopefully everything's fine. I don't know if there's been any complaints about the way people like to run their marathons these days. That's always the thing. It's just like, oh, I understand what your rules are. Can you tell me if anyone complained? Did anyone get hurt? Did anyone get bumped into? Those are things that I'd like to know, like these rules that still make sense kind of thing. But, I don't know. So far, everything's been great. And so I'm not going to put negativity out in the world. I guess I'll just wait for it to come to me. All right. Let's see. Corey Allen says, all you did awesome in Boston. I can hopefully only hope to qualify someday. Corey, I was there not that long ago. And he says, it is fun looking at race photos and putting faces and strides behind the names. That is fun. That is fun. And Hillary Thornton says about race photos, he says, we runners as a group seem pretty insecure about our appearance, especially given that we're fitter than average. Our bodies are amazing and they really take us places. Well, that's true. I think we should all celebrate our race photos. That being said, I don't buy race photos anymore. The only time I've used race photos is if they the race gives them away for free. Sometimes they do that. Like you'll get it with watermarks on it, not watermarks, but little sponsor logos and stuff on the photos if you want it, or if you want all those off, then you can buy the photos. They did that at Miami Half. I did enjoy that. That was nice. But for Boston, a lot of times when I'm running regular races, most of the on-course photos are me just running. Without the selfie stick. I have the selfie stick, but it's not in filming mode. But for the Boston Marathon, every photo of mine is in flagrante. The stick is out. I said stick is out. Yeah. So it's very. It's very. I'm not trying to hide it, I guess. Jean Devlin said, "Hey everyone, he ran trails for the first time in a very long while this morning. Awesome." And he said, "I missed it. I also got some Zenols delivered today to try out." There we go. And Rachel Ann says, I'm glad to finally catch a live. Been doing audio only and playbacks for a few months. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Rachel. That's awesome. glad to have some converts. And also, it's always nice to talk to someone that listens to the audio only version. I see the download numbers and they're not huge. So I'm like, who are those 6 people? I'm glad that you're here. But I'm also like, does this mean that I won't get that download anymore? But either way, I'm happy that you're participating. Master Runner says, what's up, Kofuzi? What's going on, Master Runner? Is this the real Master Runner? I mean, I recognize Master Runner, and I remember that being like a huge thing on Instagram, right? Is this the real Master Runner, or is this someone else that's likes the Master Runner? Interesting. I think you've been by a couple times. And let's see. Sean Devlin says, for the race recap video that got put out today, he says, yeah, that was a great recap. It was a long video, but it flew by. Yeah, you know, every race recap video, I was like, I'm going to be brief, so let's jump into it. And then it ends up being like 40 minutes long. So, well, this one, at least with the Boston Marathon race recap, there was stories and stuff, you know, so that made it take a little bit longer. But I felt like, you know, those are some story, another couple of stories that I couldn't figure out where to put in anywhere else, but I wanted to share those with you. And so I didn't forget. And so thanks for your patience and humoring me. But I also feel like, you know, we're all a little bit tired of the Boston content by now, I think. So like, it's really, so I do it now so that I don't forget all the stuff that happened for next year. And I'm hoping that next year people will like be looking for race recaps and we'll find it. So it's really for next year's people. But I mean, Mark's saying like great race recap. You had some observations I'd already forgotten. So it was a fun reminder. Yeah, like I like reminded myself of stuff like as I'm like had to go through like 5K by 5K. Like I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So I'm definitely gonna remember to bring more warm clothes, and also to remember to bring clothes with zippers. And that's why I feel like, you know, a lot of people go to like Goodwill or whatever to get their throwaway clothes, which I feel like is great because then you're recycling clothes. You're not buying new clothes to throw away, which is what I do. But like I like having the zipper at the ankle to get over the shoes so you don't have to take your shoes off. I like having a full zip hoodie so you don't have to take anything over your head to take your throwaway layers off. So like those are some things I want to remember. And Mark brought garbage bags. Tony brought space blankets. I got so many space blankets from all the races. I'm going to start bringing those to sit down on. Like Chicago Marathon, that's usually a problem because you have to get there so early. Even if it's not wet, the grass is damp and there always aren't enough places to sit in like pavement, you know? So yeah. Lalo P says, yo, what's going on? What's going on, Lalo? And Frank says, I didn't realize you could get to anybody's photos from the results page. Yeah, you know, I was watching Matt B's race recap, and I don't know why it never occurred to me, but you could see like the pacing information. You just like, you know, you can for your own result. You could see that for the elites. And I was like, oh, this is genius. Like he's looking at all like how the pros did. That's pretty cool. That's pretty smart. I like that idea. Master Runner says, Marathon Photo 2023, epic fail. Terrible pictures. I guess AI couldn't recognize my face. Or you couldn't recognize your face because you're the Master Runner or because your actual face it couldn't recognize you? I think we need some more clarification on that one. All right, let me scroll down a little bit, catch up with you in the chat a little bit. Yeah, post call with Paul says, I seriously wish I had these race recaps before racing. It's going to be so useful for future runners. Yeah, so that's my hope. And then I'll just have to remember next year to I usually don't be like, hey guys, such and such marathon's coming up. Check out my video from last year. I don't usually do that kind of promotion. I probably should, but I don't. But I feel like for this one, you know, like for this one and like CIM seem to be ones that like people really want to know like exquisite detail about stuff, you know? So, I feel like that's something I got to remember to do next year. And then plus I also have some general thoughts that I'll have to put down if I'm going to do like a kind of like a course strategy video for next year. Although I don't think I'm going to run it next year. And people have been asking me about like, why do you think you're not going to run it? I mean, like, I think the main reason I'm probably not going to run it is I anticipate some email exchanges happening. So I don't know that I'll be allowed to run it next year, you know? But even if I am, you know, there's some other races that I'd like to run London next year, and I'd like to run that one fast. And so like I can't do both. I could hardly do. I mean, what's today? Wednesday, so we're 9 days out. I I tried doing some strides today, not because I felt like I needed to do strides, but I'm testing out, putting the final test touches on my testing for the Cumulus 25. And I did some strides today, and that was hard. My body did not want to move that fast. So, I don't. So I think I can only do one. Yeah. Um. And Josh Peregrino says, best Boston vids, man. Thank you. He said, I finished close to you and can't stop showing them to all my runner buds. Literally the best way to relive them. Thank you for that. And major props to Tony. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing it. That's kind of like the best thing that you can do to help someone if you appreciate their video is to be like, just send it to someone that you think might like it, who's unaware of it. To peel back a little bit under the hood, I think that for YouTube growth purposes, like if someone gets shown your video that normally doesn't watch your video and likes it, like that's a really it's like a super strong positive signal for like the YouTube algorithm. So like that's really good. That's very helpful is when people share it. Because my understanding is that like, when YouTube is like trying to figure out if a video you made is good, it'll send it to like your usual suspects first. And so like that's where like subscriber numbers are kind of important, but like basically like if I'm in someone's view history in the last, I don't know, 30 or 60 days, those are the people that are most likely to get shown the video first. And then like if multiple of my videos are in your view history in the past 30 to 60 days, then you'll definitely get my videos first, But if I'm not in your view history at all in the last 30 or 60 days, I think that like the video has to get a lot of positive signals before YouTube suggests it to someone new, so getting it shared is really, really nice. Smitty Low wants to know how I'm feeling. I think a hard part of it is, I hit the weight room for the first time in a long time. I did a leg day. So that's my butt is really sore and my hamstrings are really sore. But I think like otherwise, I think the running parts of my or like the parts of my legs that I use for running, I don't really use my hamstrings for running, which is the reason I need to do more leg day. But like I think that's all fine. But like my wind, like my inside, like my fatigue level is still really, really high. So like while I mean like my easy pace, my easy heart rate, was maybe like 15, 30 seconds slower per mile, which I don't care, but it's just an indicator of like kind of like where my fatigue level is at. So I'm just tired still, even like a week and a half out. But I'm not in a rush. I don't have any races on the calendar. Well, I guess I have Peachtree on the calendar. And then I gotta send an email. I gotta figure out some stuff out to see if I'm gonna go to Boulder or not. So, but yeah. Schumann Fan says, I heard someone took Martin Gel caffeine and passed out a few moments later. Do you feel it makes your heart rate spiking like crazy during the race? No, not for me. I mean, I've taken it a lot and I'm very caffeine desensitized. I mean, this is my third cup of coffee for today, and I feel like I'm short a cup. I normally have more than that in a day. So like I normally for training I use Science and Sport gels because they're cheap and I like them and they're tasty. And those have caffeine in it. So like most of the time when I'm taking a gel, it's a caffeinated gel. The only time I take a non-caffeinated gel is when I'm racing, and I take the Martin regular, the non-caff, and some caffeinated ones. So yeah. Let's see. Sober Gummy says, I watch all the race recap vids in the day or two before my marathon to get both excited and locked in. Houston, Tunnel, Chicago, I watch them all. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, that I don't know. I'm looking at my fall like racing schedule. I'm trying to figure it out. And like I'm not gonna run New York and I'm not gonna run CIM. So I'm like, well, Chicago might be my last race of the year. Although I did get contacted by Marine Corps Marathon this morning, I think, or yesterday. And so there might be a chance that I do that. But I have something else on the calendar that I also need to confirm whether it's going to happen or not. because I think that's going to be in that time frame. So again, like I said, I gotta get some emails done, you know, um, and figure out and like just lock in my October to November timeframe schedule. But I do think like running, like if I'm running, so I'm running Chicago, I'm in a conversation with another group, and then I'm conversation with another group. So there's two other, there's a bunch of sets of there's a lot of balls juggling in the air, and like everyone's kind of like, yeah, let's have a follow up. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to start making some decisions. So like this is where I feel like I need like an agent, someone that's good at like making people sit down and have meetings about stuff. I hate meetings. But yeah, so like I don't know. Maybe running Marine Corps would be could work out in the calendar really nice. PG says, Heiko, happy hump day. I like the hoodie. Thanks. You know, I've been loving, so like Tracksmith has been making some really good hoodies. Bandit has been making really good hoodies. I want them really, really heavy. I want to feel like something. Oh, I want to feel like this is a weight on me. And these Tracksmith ones, even though the head hole is too small, the weight is so comfortable. And the Bandit ones, I feel like are a little bit better because it's even heavier and the head hole is the right shape and size. So like it's good. It's good. I've been just enjoying hoodies, and since it's a little bit chilly still, it's been nice. I did, I was gonna, I was thinking I was gonna flex on some track parents yesterday. I was probably just gonna wear the Boston Marathon like knit cap that I have. But the track meet got canceled yesterday. There was a lot of rain throughout the day, and it wasn't raining in the afternoon, but it had flooded, I guess, part of the track. So they couldn't, or maybe the school or the facility. I'm not sure. They didn't specify, but there was flooding. So there was no track meet, which is a bummer for my daughter because she only had 2 meets left in the season, and now her last meet's going to be on Thursday. So I don't think they make up middle school track meets. So Stevie76 says, almost cried in the end of Welsh Runner's London video. Didn't help you use sappy background music. 1,000 Years by Christina Perri. Yeah, that song is really good. That was a good video. I really liked it. Yeah, you know what? I love that song, but isn't that song in correct me if I'm wrong. I've always thought that song was really good. 1,000 Years. It's so sweet. And I'm just like, it makes me think of my daughters and stuff whenever I think of it. But didn't they use that in like Twilight? So like I can't help but think about like teeny bopper movies whenever I think about that song. I think it's Twilight. It's not Hunger Games. I think it's Twilight that use it. So like I feel like I really enjoy the song, and it's very sentimental and it's very sweet. I thought it was really fitting. Because it was both like him and his wife kind of narrating this video. And but I also was like, are you team, I don't even know. What was it, Taylor? And then the other one, the vampire one. That's what I kept thinking about when I was watching that video. And Calvin wants to know, is the Welsh Runner still featured in the Science and Sport gel photos? If you buy Science and Sport on Amazon and you keep scrolling, at least the last time I did, I've been buying my stuff from that place in Boulder for the last while, who, by the way, sponsors Lionel's videos, Lionel the triathlete, Lionel Sanders. He's a sponsored athlete, or like he seemed to do a product placement for that company now. But anyway, back when I used to buy it from Amazon, that's how I found his photos, and I was like, hey, I know that guy. But so I think he still is. Going with Oliver says, Allie on the Run was bashing the BA on our last podcast. That doesn't sound right. I'll have to check that out. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe you, but like they must have done something to really annoy her because she's just so diplomatic and nice. And I'm sure she wants to go back and work with them again, Frank says, I almost think the best thing to put on at the end of a cool marathon would be one of those heavy swim team jackets. I absolutely agree. After New York, remember New York was a hot year this year. They give out, I think, one of the better like post-marathon blankets. It's kind of like a hooded, it's like a cape, but it has, I think, does it have a hood on it too? but it's like fleece lined, and then the outer layer is like a shell, so it's kind of a windbreaker, and it's like cape length. And it was 75 degrees or something like that. It was 70 degrees at the finish, and I was cold still wearing mine all the way around me because I just get so cold after I finish a marathon. So like a big swim team jacket or the kind that football players wear, like when they got a game outside in the snow, like that's what I got to start packing. Cause like I've been doing like 30-minute hot shower and 30-minute nap after a marathon. But I also like this marathon, I had full intent. I told the people at Bandit, like they had the portrait sessions on. I'm like, I'm just going to come over a complete wreck, like disheveled, stinky, smelly, bleeding, whatever it is. I'm going to get my, marathon portrait taken that way to just commemorate like the full experience. But I just got so cold with the rain and I didn't have enough warm layers that I couldn't. I had to go home first or back to the hotel first. But I got to start remembering to pack like super thick layers so I can hang out because I just want to, I don't know, I want to hang out nasty after the race, you know? So yeah, I do think I just need like the thicker the better. The thicker the better. Sean says, my wife and my kids got me a Believe in the Run Track Smith hoodie as a cool and unexpected post-marathon gift. Need a KRC one though. Okay, we'll try. Yeah, so I'm slowly coming around. That's another set of emails I got sent around too. Because I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do all the product distribution myself. I'm going to buy them ahead of time or secure them ahead of time, get them printed. So I think it's going to be multiple steps. I have to get all the merch, then I have to send them out to someplace I could do the printing, get them back, and then put them up for sale. I think I still have a Shopify store somewhere. And then because that'll handle the taxes and stuff. And then I can do it. I think just to make life easier for me, I'll probably just do US shipping. Cause I don't know. I don't want to have to deal with like the duties and all that other stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to Thomas and see how they handle international sales. I actually don't even want to do all that. Miguel wants to know, does my partner, like my hoodies? No, but you know who started doing it? My daughter did. You guys remember, I don't know if you remember, when On sent me the Cloud Surfer, they sent me the zip up hoodie. It's real nice. I've been wearing that around. And then one day, like, my daughter's about to leave and I could hear her like running up and down the stairs and like scurrying around. And she's like, Dad, I'm going to take one of your hoodies. Is that okay? Bye. And then like the door slammed. And I was like, that's fine. And I'm like, I wonder which one she took. And then like a couple of days later, I was like, I don't know, which one did she take? Did she end up taking one? And she took the On one, and she's been stuffing that in her backpack every day. So I think that it's coming, or it doesn't fit her, but I just think that she likes having the big baggy one on. So she's been taking. Governing the Oliver has a question about can you move up corrals if you were picked for the Chicago Marathon lottery? Yeah, there's athlete services. So like when you do the lottery, you still submit a time, don't you? I think. Like what you think your time's going to be. And if it's a certain time, they'll ask you for proof. I think is how it works. And then they'll put you in a corral based on that. And I think that's how most marathons work. But if like the corral that you get is like very, very different, in some situations, they'll let you move up a corral. Like if you're like, I'm corral C and I want to be in corral B, I think they're going to be like, no thanks. But if you're like wave 2, real far back for some reason, and you're like, yeah, I just ran a marathon like 2 months ago at like 40 minutes faster, can I get moved up? I think they might do that. So that's what athlete services, or for like, there's always that like special booth off to the side. Cause you know how there's always like, for bibs, it's like 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, and like so on. There's always one like little booth at the end or somewhere in that area where you can go and like be like, hey, can someone help me out? That's what Hella had to do to get his bib fixed. It's a pretty fun story. Hopefully, I'll remind him to share the story about it if he wants to share it. But he told me about it, and I was like, oh man, that's a lot of work. But his situation was a little bit different than like I just need a different corral, so it was very different. But yeah. All right, let me scroll down a little bit more. Corey says, my daughter took all my Team World Vision hoodies and large t-shirts too. Yeah, I mean, I feel that that's fine. That's fine. I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing. It's a good thing for her to be into. So, Daniel Fanego says, congrats on finishing the Boston Marathon. I was wondering if you still use the math training method for your marathon training. I mean, I think that's just a matter of semantics, if you want to call it that, So I don't do easy running all day, every day anymore. And I really think that technically that should be considered like the onboarding phase of Maffetone. If Maffetone doesn't really have a marathon training manual, right? It's not like week 1 through week 12 do these things. If I haven't read the book in several years, so I'm not exactly sure. But from what I recall, I was like, this isn't very helpful from a tactical, what do I do every day kind of perspective. And my main recollection is that Maffetone talks about like a lot of his athletes will just, run easy all day, every day. They use the Maffetone method. And then they just kind of race a lot. And then like, what are the races? They would say like the races are like 10K races or half marathon races where they're running at those paces, which are, between 10K pace and half marathon pace. It sounds like kind of like threshold running to me. And so I just think that like, if that's still considered Maffetone is just a race threshold pace races a lot, then I think what I do is still Maffetone training. If you don't think that qualifies, then I'm not. But like all my easy runs, I've gotten to the point where what feels like easy is heart rate easy under my Maffetone number. So kind of yes. All right. Astro Chillmatic, that's a nice name, says, Yoko, who's been loving the running content. I've been looking for some running shoes for my girlfriend who's trying to get back into running. Do you have any recommendations? So that's a hard question because like there's a lot of, I don't know. For me and my wife, it's really hard to pick. She doesn't really like to let me pick. She doesn't really like it when I help her with a lot of stuff. She doesn't like getting help from people. It's something that she's working on. But the thing is, for my wife, she doesn't like running shoes that look like running shoes. And her favorite shoe is the shoe that like she has been wearing, but now she admits it's too old and needs to be replaced. But like she'd rather just keep running in the old one. So what's funny is every time I get her a new shoe, she initially says she doesn't like it, still runs in the old one, and then like a month or two later, she's in it, claims that she doesn't like it, but by the time it's time to get a new pair, that new one, which is now the old one, is the one that she wants to keep coming back to. So it just takes her a minute to get used to a new shoe. And she has different like stability preferences than I have. So it's always kind of hard for me to make some recommendations for her. But right now she's in a Hoka Clifton and she seems to really like it. That's what I got for my mother-in-law too. And they both seem to be really enjoying it. I think that's a great shoe for experienced and beginning runners as well. And I also like the Nova Blast 3 and I like the Rebel 3. They all kind of look very much like running shoes though. So she's looking for more of a sleeper shoe. None of those are really going to be it. Yeah, the Nimbus 25 still looks very much like a running shoe, but I feel like it's a little bit more stylish. And that could be a good one. So those are some. JJ and Sienna says, dang, shots fired at your wife. Now we have to know what you are working on. No, she just doesn't like it. She doesn't want me picking her shoes. She'd like to be able to pick them herself. But then she's like, I don't know what to look at when I'm looking at shoes. I'm like, I know. I mean, I kind of know a couple of things if you want me to help. And she's like, no. And then she's like, fine, just you know what I like. Just order it. So that's what I do. Corey says, I got my wife into Ultra Escalantes and Zero Prios this year. She loves them. Norman Brooks 10 millimeter drop to hurt her. Corey, I think the Brooks Ghosts are 12 millimeter drop. Maybe the Adrenalines are 10, but like Ghosts are like 12 millimeter drop. I feel like they're actually 14, but yeah, those are wild. I think if you're talking about Ghosts, Maddie Mac wants to know if anyone's running the Cap City Half in Columbus this weekend. That sounds like fun. A lot of half marathons are coming up. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be. I would like to run a half marathon. I just don't know when that's going to be. I was thinking about maybe doing the Chicago half this year. It's a good race and it's a pretty fast course. It's just usually very hot. And you're running on like super slab of concrete, so it's a very harsh surface. There's not a lot of shade. That's the only thing. But there's usually a lot of fast runners. There's plenty of space. But I'm not sure. It's 2 weeks before Chicago, so I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do that one. Eric says, "Yo, what's going on, everyone? Good to be here for a few minutes before I have to get an eye exam." Oof. You'll be okay, Eric. I think it'll be fine. And Frank says, the way I train definitely does not count as Maffetone training. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like tied to it dogmatically one way or the other. I do a lot of, I mean, like right now it's just easy running. But later, I do a 9-day cycle. And I keep saying that I'm going to make this video about doing a 9-day cycle training video, but, and I keep saying that it's coming, but I don't honestly, I don't know when I'm going to do it. But I basically do a workout every 3 days, and every third workout is a long run with marathon pace. So it's usually like threshold workout, 2 easy days, threshold workout, 2 easy days, and then long run with marathon paces in it, and then 2 easy days. So that's the usual cycle. So like, 1 out of every 3 runs is not low heart rate. So, Raphael says that Puerto Rico has a half in August. Dude, that sounds really hot. It sounds like it's going to be a very miserable half marathon to run. Yeah. I don't know if I could do that. Yeah, because I mean, the main reason why I like to do spring marathons now is because then I don't have to train that hard for a fall marathon. Like that was like for me, like when I was running Tokyo, one of the big like motivators for me to like continue pushing on is that like I was like, if I PR here, then I don't have to train all summer long. And I don't want to train in the summer. But I'm going to do a 10K. I'd like to hop in a half marathon. I'd like to get my half marathon PR down. I think my half marathon PR is like a 126:30 something. So I'd like to get that into the 125s. I think I can. But it would take some work, So, all right. CV76 says box. Let's get the box. All right. Let me tell you the story about the box though. So I go to pick up, I know there's another package coming, and that'll be the package we open up tomorrow. So I go to my PO box place to open it. And I told you guys the story about how my PO box guy knows that like I'm a dude on YouTube, and every time I go now, he's got like a different running question for me. And it's very fun to answer them. But like today, the UPS store had a line literally out the door. And I get up there and I'm like, box 135, please. Can you help me out? And he's like, yep, here you go. He's like, oh yeah, by the way. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a long question. And everyone behind me is like going to be super annoyed. And he's like, I found this box. I think it's for you. And I'm like, well, it looks like shoes. It probably is. He goes, well, I did open it because it's been at the shop for a long time. So we're trying to figure out whose it is. There isn't a name on it. But I opened it up and it's shoes and it looks like it's for you. And then I looked at one of these other labels and like the customer PO order is like Mike Co seated shoes or something like that. And so I'm like, yeah, that's definitely for me. And they messed up. There was a typing error in the box number. So they didn't get the box number right. And so this is a pair of shoes that has been sitting at my PO box place for like over a month now. And I'm really glad that my PO box guy knows that I'm a YouTuber and get shoes all the time. Because otherwise this box of shoes would have been lost forever. But this is something that you guys have been asking for a long time. I mean, it better be what I think it is. I think it is. So here we go. It's a box from Puma. It is what I think it is. Oof. It's something that you guys have been asking me to review for a really long time. It is the Deviate Nitro 2, not the Nitro Elite, which I've already reviewed, but the Nitro 2. I've been really excited about this one because of the Nitro Elite foam that's going to be in here and a plate. And I feel like I like the Deviate Nitro Elite too, but I feel like it's a little bit too low to the ground for me. And I'm hoping for a little bit more of a chill experience. Might actually be the shoe that I prefer of the two. That's my hypothesis going in. So I'm really, really excited about this. So super stoked about it. And I kind of wish that I had like that he would have given it to me like a couple of days earlier, because this would have been a nice shoe to take out for the run today. But I'll get to it later in the week. So it's got that power plate in it. I think it's a carbon plate, and it's got Nitro Elite foam. So yeah, I mean the upper seems a little bit more daily trainery than the Nitro Elite 2, but it seems like it's a taller stack height too. So I'm like, I don't understand why this isn't the Nitro Elite 2 and just a Nitro 2, but maybe they've tinkered with the foam so it's a little bit firmer or something. I don't know. Lots of other people have been saying really good things about it. I've been trying to avoid all of the reviews on it, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Martha had a good question. Did Mike ever tell if he's lost anything in Boston and what? I have not told you if I lost anything in Boston. And, you know, sometimes I don't realize that I lost something until the next trip when I go to pack again. But I'm fairly confident that I did not lose anything in Boston. I think I have not lost anything in Boston. However, in packing for Boston, I think that I don't know. It still might be around here somewhere. But in packing for Boston, I realized that one of these microphones, these Shure microphones that are really, really nice, that costs, I think, like $250, $300. I don't know where. I have two of them. I don't know where the other one went. So I think I lost that one somewhere. Maybe Germany, maybe Tokyo. I don't think Tokyo. I don't think I brought microphones to Tokyo. I could have swore that I still had it. I swear that the last time I used it was upstairs as I was filming or like recording the voiceovers for the eBay video. So I think that was the last time I used it. And then I don't know where it went after that. It's not in the normal place that I hold it. So like, or like store it. So I don't know. That's missing. But other than that, I think there's nothing additional that I lost after Boston. So I'm feeling pretty proud of myself for that one. Mark says, I seem to have misplaced my Rabbit Kofuzi drawstring bag already. Oh no. I think my wife just moved it somewhere though. Yeah, you know, I was lucky because Kevin saved me one. Because I went inside real quick to take a look at them, and I was like, "Hey, Kevin, how's it going? How are we doing on the bags?" He's like, "Yeah, we're almost like I think we're gonna run out really fast." And I was like, "He's like, here, take this one while you can." And I was like, "No, that's okay. Let's make sure everyone gets one." And he's like, "You sure? Okay." But he did save me one at the end, so I did get one. So hopefully you find yours, Mark. If not, you can have mine. I spilled coffee on mine the other day, but if you need it, you can have it. You know. Brian says, "Co, if I were you, I'd lose something on purpose every trip, so at least all the important stuff doesn't get lost." Yeah, that's not how it works, Brian. I would just end up losing the intentionally lost stuff, and then I'd have another surprise later. You know. Travis says the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon is this Sunday. It's a great race. Last turn, you run to the finish and pass the pictures and names of the victims that passed in the bombing. Very emotional. Oh, I've heard good things about that one. Are you running it, Travis? And Frank says, my race shoes are in my rabbit bag still. There you go. April says, maybe my daughter has started a channel and borrowed the mic. You know, I don't think so. I don't know about that, but maybe. I think that, yeah. I did think for a moment that maybe the couch ate it because I was doing that voiceover on the couch and I sounded real funny and people were like, what happened to your voice? But slouching, I'll do that. And then I think I might have also had kind of like a little bit of a cold I was fighting. But so I looked through the couch because I thought maybe the couch ate it. But there's the microphone and I have a case for it too, and both are gone. So that makes me think I took it somewhere. I think it's probably you know what? Here, you know what? I think I left it at my mother-in-law's house. I think I know exactly where it is. Hopefully it's there. I'll follow up. When's the next time we're going back? I think in a couple weeks. We got lots of graduations and stuff coming up. May is crazy. May is always crazy. I think we've got like a couple weekends in a row of a couple graduations per weekend. So it's like 4 graduations in like a 2-week span. So I'll be able, I think that's where it is. Nice. Yeah. 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 Mm. Corey Villancoin says you gotta make Kofuzi Run Club coins and leave them behind and hide them. I do kind of like that idea. Like a Doge coin, but a Kofuzi coin. And not crypto, an actual like physical token, a physical token. I think it's funny that like we have words like physical token. You mean a coin? Yeah, novelty coin, But I maybe I think that'd be fun. I think I gotta figure out, like Laura Green's been giving away stickers and stuff. Believe It or Run and Featherston did the carb box, which I think is like a genius thing to do. I feel like that's going to be an idea that gets copied by a lot of people. Everyone's going to copy that idea. I mean, here's the nice thing about it is that it's not cheap or easy to distribute, So like that's going to stop a lot of people from doing it, from like just outright ripping them off their idea. But like any brand that wants to just be like, we're going to do our own thing, could easily copy that idea. But that's definitely, I've never seen anything like that. The card box, it's genius. But I feel like we need to do more. I mean, we do stuff at the shakeout runs, like for Cherry Blossom. We had the Pacers Believe in the Run Kofuzi t-shirt. That was a good one. I didn't get one of those either. And then we did the bag for this one. I'm hoping for another pizza shirt for Chicago. I like that, but maybe something even smaller. Stephanie Flippin, who I work with on Relay, she sent me a little shoe pin that says her slogan is let's flip and do this, because Stephanie's last name is Flippin. So I thought that was really cool. Maybe an enamel pin, a sticker, a patch. I like the idea of a patch, like an iron-on, but I also feel like, well, you can't put that on your racing or running clothes. That'll cause chafing. I don't know. I got to figure something else out. Calvin says Kofuzi loses things for Robbie to find after, and it's the circle of life. That would be amazing if Robbie found it. Here, you know what? I don't know if I ever told you guys this story, and it's from World Championships, and I think it's like I don't know if this. Here's the story in my mind, and I find it a little bit touching. And if it's true the way I interpret it, they've denied that it's true, but if it's the way that I've interpreted it, I think it's super touching. So, in Eugene, ASICS every day had like a different ASICS enamel pin that they were giving away if you came by the media center. So like media people, not just like, the media influencer people, but like journalists could come by. It'd be a space where if you wanted to schedule an interview with like an ASICS athlete, that's where it would be. There was good internet there, coffee and snacks for people to, fuel up on in between writing stories or getting their pictures uploaded or whatever. And so like there was all that stuff. So if you came by, you had media credentials and you can come by, you would get a pin every day. And the one that was super popular was one of the Sasquatch, the mascot for the World Championships. And it was a big pin, metal pin of a Sasquatch with an ASICS logo on them. And we were walking to the I think it was the men's marathon, which also had a participation 5K in it. So we're getting there really early and we're walking towards it. And Thomas, I wasn't there. So this is the story as like Thomas tells it to me. Thomas says that he goes to Robbie and says, hey, Robbie, look over in that bus stop. I bet you can find something interesting there in the bus stop. And Robbie's like, okay. And he walks over and he looks underneath the bench of the bus stop and he finds a Sasquatch pin, which was like the day before's pin. And Robbie didn't have one. And he really wanted one. And so he's like, I got a Sasquatch pin. I finally got a Sasquatch pin. And then I was like, Thomas, and you would wear like the pins on your credentials and stuff. And then people would want to trade with you. Like mega nerds would have like pins from like Olympics or other world championships or like US championships and stuff. And people would be like, what pins you got? And you would show them and then people would want to trade. And I'm looking at Thomas's lanyard and I'm like, Thomas, where's your Sasquatch? And he's like, I think I lost it somewhere. I'm like, did you give it to Robbie. Is that yours? He's like, no. Robbie just found that one. That's awesome. That's a really good pin. So I think Thomas took his pin off, placed it under a bus stop, and then suggested to Robbie to go find the pin that he actually wanted. And so I think that's really, that's the way I want to tell the story. Thomas denies it. Robbie thinks that he really just found a pin, and I think it's the best that way, so yeah. Sean Devlin says mega nerds. Yeah. Yeah. And Brian Lang says, has anyone got a Kofuzi tattoo yet? Should I be the first? No, please don't get a Kofuzi tattoo. But here's the one thing that I have been thinking about is, there's all these like semi-permanent tattoos that are coming out now. They last like a couple of months. There's one that I've seen that says it lasts up to a couple of years, but that's not permanent. And you apply it like a kid's temporary tattoo. I'm like, that'd be kind of fun to have for a race, I think that'd be nice. Maybe I'll do that. Pork and Beans wants the Kofuzi non-elite tattoo as a tramp stamp. Oh boy. Yeah. Martha wants a Kofuzi branded hat to be a CLA one, please. I've been talking, I talk to CLA every once in a while. They've been sending me, here's the thing. I really love their hats and I love their apparel too. I have a really thick, it's not a hoodie, but it's a regular crew neck sweatshirt from CLA. I wore that all winter long. It was so nice. But yeah, maybe I gotta figure out something to do with them with hats. Fractal has been wanting to do some stuff with me, but they're out of Australia, and it just seems very far. CLA's out of Canada, right? That's not as far. I mean, we're Crystal Lake. It's pretty close. We're basically on the Wisconsin border over here, so I don't know. Shannon says we got to make like trading cards, like Pokemon cards, like Kofuzi cards. Just make influencer cards, like Robbie Raccoon. Oh, I got another Winefoot Jarrett. I think that'd be kind of funny. Yeah. Maddie Max says Kofuzi Run Club Dragons race sleeves. Daniel CV says bib pins. Do you guys like the bib boards or like the race dots? The bib boards are like the little plastic ones that are kind of like mini rivets. And the bib boards, no, the race dots or the Magna ones are a little bit heavy. I don't know. Calvin Huang says, what would a Tracksmith banana cost? 1 Kofuzi coin? Can you imagine having a weird influencer marketplace where we're just like trending things for like, ooh, that's a nice hoodie. How much does that cost? Like, what do you got? Tracksmith bananas, like 4 Tracksmith bananas. 4 Tracksmith bananas and a Widefoot Jarrett lapel pin. That'd just be so weird. Oh, man. Lou says the bib boards leave holes and the magnets don't work. I thought the magnets worked fine for me, and I thought the bib boards also worked fine for me, and they did not leave any holes. But I ran a 10-mile race, not a marathon, so maybe that was a little bit shorter. Yeah. And Kyle says, though, no joke, Shannon and I noticed each other at mile 20 of the Indy because we both wore our non-elite caps. Yeah, I got to talk to Flores again. I think we need to do some more non-elite stuff. Maybe another t-shirt, maybe a long sleeve. Are we good on hat? Do we need more hats? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. Brian Lang says, do you guys not pin bibs on your shorts? No, I don't do them on the shorts because I wear half tights. I don't think that would work for me. Daniel CV that the hats are great. Hats are great too because then I don't have to worry about sizes. And so it's kind of like one size fits all. It makes it a little bit easier for me to figure out inventory numbers and stuff like that. And like you can kind of sell them all year round. If I do a singlet, I got to sell them like soon, So we'll figure something out. I feel like I gotta there's a big, I want to say hump hump to get there's a hump to get over. It's Wednesday, we could say hump, right? So there's a hump to get over of me just kind of figuring it out once, and getting a system in place. Once I get the system in place, I'm hoping for like quarterly things, because I've thought about it doing it a couple ways. I'm like, I don't want you guys to have to like buy stuff. So maybe we did like a Patreon, it would just be like the Patreon. I don't know if you can set a Patreon to pay out, like to charge quarterly. And basically I'd, whatever the Patreon costs, it would just be the cost of getting a piece of merch, and you can quit or rejoin anytime you want, and it's basically a merch club. I'd rather do that than have you guys like buy stuff. I don't know. I'm so weird about commerce, I guess. Mark Peters says, I won a free CLA hat at my run club group run on Monday for knowing that Darude was the artist of the song Sandstorm. No one else knew that, Mark? I mean, I don't know a lot about music, but I knew that one. Maybe. Rob says a hat for sure. Okay. Maybe we could figure out two. Sean says, I ended up running with some miles with a guy, and I believe in the run cap. He did the Featherstone carb load box 2 or carb load 2. So we got to talking. Love merch like that just for that reason. Yeah, it does. It makes it like easier to be like, it's an icebreaker, lets people know that like, are you a serious runner, or are you going to be like, okay with some chat on this long run? You know what I mean? Yeah. Eric Bosch wants some Kofuzi candy. What would that even be? I don't have much of a sweet tooth. Yeah, I don't know. Someone did reach out to me one time about doing like a Kofuzi custom coffee roast, and I'm like, that feels like a stretch. I think that's going to be a lot of work for you and probably not that much profit. Because after all, it's just coffee. My coffee tastes are really bad anyway. I would pick a bad blend, I think, for everyone. Yeah. But Cosmic Pineapple says, more Kofuzi track bag. Yeah, I like the track bag. And Scott Stroll says, people ask me about the non-elite hat all the time. I love mine. I think it's a good hat. I think it's just a nice, simple design. You can kind of wear it anytime. All right. All right. Let's I think that's going to be a good place to end it today, because I got some emails I got to send. I got to take care of some of this business. We're talking about all the stuff we want to do. I actually got to start sending out some emails if we're going to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try to do that now. I'm going to end it here. Check out the race recap video. It's going to be the last of the Boston content for this year, I promise. I won't make any more until next year. So enjoy. I made it extra long for you guys because I didn't have more time to make it short. So there it is what it is. The next video won't be out for a couple of days. It'll be out Friday. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is happy hour. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Tomorrow's happy hour, I guess, is going to be Andy. FLD Runner is going to just stop by and join us. He's going to be hopping in for the live stream guest. So we'll have him here tomorrow. Bring any of your questions or any of your compliments for him, because he's been running like crazy and making some really good videos. So looking forward to talking to him tomorrow. Until then, be safe out there, everybody. Bye.